All right, good morning. How is everybody doing today? Give me like a hand wave. Awesome. Good deal. I'm super excited. I'm on my fifth cup of coffee. Got up at 6 a.m. this morning. I don't know about you. How many of you feel just this new energy, this new momentum? I see you, Mick. Keep your eyes on the road, man, because you get excited too fast. So I got to be honest. I have had just a new pep in my step this past week. This business, it takes its ebbs and flows, and we have our seasons, right? We have our runs. And I was texting with Brian Underwood last night, and I just said, this couldn't come at a more perfect time. I had a lot of personal stuff I had to deal with over the summer. Things are stabilizing. I am so excited to jump in full force on this run with this just new tool in our business. I think it's something we've always needed. I am thinking about all the 10 days I've sent out. For me, like that's gone. I want to get people in the system. I want to get them that experience. I want to get them in the community. It's going to help you guys and me so much. Just kind of like skip those steps that we were doing on our own. And so I just think it's brilliant. And Brian has offered to come on today. Brian, good morning. I see you over there. Thank you so much for being on and sharing your time with us. And I just want to hear from you.
Good to see you.
You too.
How's everybody doing? Good.
You're happy.
Hey, it was funny when you're talking about that. I wrote down seasons, and I think it's so important. Jim Rohn had a training on seasons, right? Like the seasons of a business, the seasons of life. We all go through different seasons, whether it's winter, spring, summer, or fall. And I think sometimes as entrepreneurs, we tend to beat ourselves up when we're going through different seasons instead of realizing that that's part of the growth cycle, whatever that mean or might be. But it's great to see you, and I'm super excited about what we're doing. This is the biggest beginning of the month that we've had this year. And I think that, one of the things that, like you said, Abigail, that's really fun, it's just redefining the entry point, right? And I think it's perfect timing. The first 2.5 years, we really had to focus on creating bridges to help people understand what a ketone was or wasn't. And then the last 1.5 years, ketones or the ketogenic diet, but primarily ketones, has become this buzzword out in the marketplace in health and wellness, which is now starting. It's not even a blip, but it's still starting to bleed into mainstream in the world. And so I think that from a timing perspective, I think timing's everything. Is now, it's still having the science and the education to reinforce it, but taking that front end conversation, taking that weight off of the masses is so important. Like I see Dr. Heather on here, I see Monica, I see yourself, I see Willie, I see some incredible people that have done an unbelievable job, Nick, at embracing the educational part. And I think that, listen, we still have to do that. That has to be the biggest reinforcement. But for us to make the biggest impact we can in the world, we got to get people, as Michael Rutherford has always said, just shake it up and drink it. And so, Joseph McClendon did a Zoom for us the other day. I don't know if you all heard it or not, but I wrote down, and he defined challenge as inspiring from within to do better. Like when you challenge yourself, you're inspiring from within to do better. And so I think that this is an overarching conversation. The tip of the sword has always been the keto conversation, but that has taken explanation. But now with a challenge, we're now leading more with experience than ever before. Does that make sense? And so and now it's given us 10 days to reinforce the education along the way. And so we said this, we've said this, and if you all haven't heard this, I want you all to hear it. This is our beta stage of it. It's our pilot program. I'm going to, push or pull Abigail if she's ready, because we really want to create a lot of really cool experiences with this, with challenge coaches, different challenges within those 10 days from movement, taking the challenge on. And we want to implement all of that at Epic, but January 1 will be our official challenge to the world. And our goal is to make the biggest challenge and the biggest impact that the world has ever seen in health and nutrition from a transformation standpoint. And this doesn't require counting macros. This requires, because we believe if people drink this stuff for 10 days, pun intended, you know, in terms of this stuff, drink these ketones for 10 days, that it's going to shift them into a better momentum. It's going to shift them in terms of helping them begin their transformation, not just with the body, but I think more importantly, the mind. And then we want to layer it, right, with movements and exercise and doing some fun things along that line as well. And so, so we're like right now, we're going through a lot of fun stuff in terms of integration with the Vi partnership. You know, so my point being is like the next 60 days, it's about curating a ton of content and curating, more importantly, experiences. And then also really identifying, making this easier on the average person to go out and lead with a challenge. And, you know, it's not, hey, take this challenge. It's, hey, will you do a challenge with me? So it's social by nature, right? And so we're excited. I mean, not only to mention that, but we also have the biggest level of redefinement or optimization that we've ever had, that we're going to be introducing at Epic in January. And I just watched, I was on a plane last night and I watched a YouTube video. It was a TED Talk, and I forget the guy's name. He's a billionaire. And he said there's two things as entrepreneurs, that entrepreneurs, if they understand these two things, it'll redefine their journey as an entrepreneur. And I'll send it to you guys if you all want. If you hit me, text me and I'll try to send it out. But the first one he said was, you know, expect conflict, expect up and downs, expect people, you know, trying to tell you can't do it. Expect resistance. Like, you know, as an entrepreneur going against the grain, it's not going to be easy. Expect it to have a lot of effort, you know, so expect that. And he said the second thing, which really hit me like a ton of bricks, that, you know, I think that we've done a great job of as a company. We want to continue to be the authority, right? We want to continue to be the best. We want to continue to be the category kings. You can take what we've done compared to what anybody else is doing in the marketplace, and it doesn't even compare. You can add them all up and they don't even have the level of experiences that we do, but they don't have the efficacy. And we don't want to compromise that. We want to keep growing it. And, you know, that's something, as I spoke with this Vi partnership, Abigail, you know, those guys from a marketing perspective, I mean, they put millions of people through a challenge in a 2-year period of time. They did billions of dollars. However, they rested on their marketing. They did not continue to innovate when it comes to product development, because it wasn't even about the product. It was more about the marketing, the experience. And so learning a lot, listening to their ups and downs. But I think that this entrepreneur summed it up. He said, whatever you're doing, whether you're providing a service or whether you're providing a product, is you have to absolutely make it the best that you possibly can, no matter what. And you have to continue to make it best to create the best experience. So whether, you know, you're providing a service or someone, how can you be the best service provider in the world? How can you, like, if you have the best product in the world, everything else will come easy. And that's something that I'm truly grateful for, that as a community and as all of you all being advocate, ambassadors and champions of what we're doing, that you've embraced as well. And you've really understood it and understood the contrast is we're not going to compromise that. So we're continuing to innovate, because we believe it does matter what you put in your body for fuel. And we think that the quality of ketones matter too, right? And so how can we keep pushing the envelope? And you're going to see that even from an experience side, not to go into too granular detail, but what we're going to announce at Epic. So we're working around the clock tirelessly, just like we always have been, just so you guys are aware. to help support that initiative, and then to continue to build a community that has a higher level of awareness. Yes, as an entrepreneur, we want to generate income and at the same time, but not at all costs. It's not about a hook. As a community, we want to have a higher level of awareness, know that 9 out of 10 people, they're not going to be $1 million earners with you, right? This I'm anticipating is more of a leadership call, but 9 out of 10 people, they do want more. They want to grow. They want to be a part of something significant, and they don't have to make $1 million to be significant, to feel needed, to feel known, to feel a bigger part of something, to know that they're contributing at a greater level. But as individuals that are spearheading and championing it, we always have to make sure we stay grounded and realize that the impact is not just about money. The impact is the ripple effect. And I think that by nature, our conversation does that. And that's why the Drink Ketone Challenge is going to really be at the next level. And so anyway, I see a lot of familiar faces. Good to see you guys. I don't know if there's anything else. Hey, Shane, I see you over there with your beard. Don't shave it, man. It's November. Don't shave it.
Hey, Brian, I want to ask you a question. In the last week, just starting this and talking to people, I told you last night, I've got 2 new promoters on just by getting on the phone and talking about this 10-day challenge, because I think it offers more support if we'll optimize on that. When you and I first began the company, we were always on the phone with people. And somewhere along the way, I've gotten in my head, I'm not going to use my phone. I'm just going to message and text people. And I don't know why I adopted that story. I think I muted you, Brian. You're muted. So I was muting a baby, but you weren't the baby. Can you unmute yourself?
I'll just message you.
Don't message me. But the shift is we can truly build more of a connection with people as they're on the 10-day. And that put me on phone calls again this week. And I wanted to just kind of toss that to you, Brian, because I think there's a huge opportunity to speak belief into people. That's how I came in, is having belief spoken in me. You can do this. You can use your story. You can use your platform. And I think just getting back to that, like, what are your thoughts on that? I want to be promoter focused because people want to level up with me.
No, you're 100% right. I'm just taking notes because as you're talking, look, if you can't preach to the choir, who can you preach to, right? So like when you're preaching that, you're reaffirming your own intuition and belief. And your intuition, woman's intuition, guys, I hate to say this, but it's the most powerful thing in the world. So and you're ringing a tune with me that like the last 72 hours I've gotten onto a rant in a couple different situations because it's the truth. Like, listen, you cannot hide behind messages and expect to build a long-term business, because this business is about leading other people, and leading other people is about relationships, and it's about what they feel. I just talked to someone this morning, right? And they've made over $1 million with us. And I just told them, I was like, look, I mean, you started that because of your energy, your heart, your tenacity, your hunger, and that transcended to someone else that wanted to be fired up, and it's that transference, right? And I think that in today's world, social media and messaging has its benefits for sure, right? But it's a tool, it's not a replacement. And I think that for all of us, including myself. So, our partner, Terry, a lot of you know who he is, some of you don't, but Partner Improve It, he very rarely texts me. You know what he does? He picks up the phone and calls me. He said, because he believes that it's more important to communicate that way with someone than it is just through messaging. So messaging is a tool, not a replacement, not just on phone calls, but, it's just like I've always said, people don't care what you say. It's how you say it that matters. And I'll give you an example. I think being in front of people, if you want to build something long-term, you have to go build glue with people and build relationships. And I can look on this call and I can tell you that stickiness comes from TIME and quality time. Even though that all of our lives might take different pivots and curves and ups and downs, Like, what is the core of the relationship that you have with your team or your new team members? And I'll give you an example. This new group, this partnership that we've come on with the Vi, like a lot of them, their backs are against the wall, right? They haven't had a lot of activity in 3 or 4 or 5 years. So this is fresh and they've gotten a ton of momentum. Like literally they're going on 30-day and 45-day tours, right? To get in front of people because they know they got to transition this energy to this other person. And, and that's like back to the basics. When you see companies that have done well for a long, long time, I'll show you companies that they understood the fundamentals. And that's a fundamental, I think, not only of this business, but most businesses as an entrepreneur, is that those personal relationships, especially with the people that you're building with. So I could talk about that all day. I've been on a rant on it for like 72 hours, not just because look, we have social, it's not either or, it's both. Like social media gives you the ability to buy some of your time when you're spending time with your family, right? Because it's kind of there and it's a quick hit, but you do both. And I think some people rest behind messaging because it's quick, simple, and they don't have to expose themselves. I always use social media or messaging the most, especially like I go through my ups and downs. I don't know if anyone on here is like me. I wish I could say like I'm up like this all the time. But like when I'm down or I'm tired or I'm drained or I'm frustrated, I'll just message because Shane can't tell that I'm frustrated if I say, hey man, how's it going? Awesome. Like it's just a message, right? But if I'm talking to him, he'd be like, man, what the hell's wrong with Brian? I'm like, hey, what's up, man? Like, so I don't know. I love that. But shift, I like that.
Yep, that's awesome. Okay, BU, is there anything else on your mind that you want to add or any other?
I think we're going to do some really fun stuff towards the end of the month. We are dropping, this is kind of a tribute, is we're dropping roasted marshmallow. And we have Nat roasted marshmallow, and then we're going to come out with roasted marshmallow cream. And then we're going to call it the Campfire Pack as a tribute to the Campfire video. So I think that's dropping today, which it's a fun flavor. You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. It's one of those distinct flavors. To me, I love it. It's very warm and vanilla. It's different than anything that we've ever had as Nat. So we're dropping that, and then we have our Christmas party coming up at Disney. A lot of information is going to be going out on that. Bring your kids. It'll be a lot of fun. It's literally going to be at Epcot Center. We have Santa Claus coming for the kids. So all that information should be going out. Look for it. And then if you guys need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. Appreciate you guys and appreciate you, Abigail, letting me run my mouth.
Awesome. Y'all stay on. We're going to do a little bit more training, but BU, thank you so much for joining this morning.
Oh, by the way, I would say this too. I would lead with the 10-day drink ketone challenge. And if someone hesitates on the drink ketone challenge, then I would say, well, let me give you 3 or 5 days to experience. Like then you do the downsell. You still do the 5 days, but do it as a downsell, not using it as the entry point as the upsell is how I would do it. But you all are the masters. So
love it. That's great.
All right. Okay. Talk to y'all later.
Thank you.
Okay. Awesome. You guys. So that was great. I feel complete, but I wanted to give you guys a few hacks and tips that I've been picking up over the last few days. Don't stress about the glitches right now. The website's under construction. And here's an opportunity, okay? At 2 o'clock today, Central Time, Dr. Heather and I are going to go live on my page. And the reason I do it on my page is because I'm on top of the organization, and if anything goes wrong, that falls on me. But you're going to have an opportunity to tag people under the live that we're going to do about the 10-day experience. So it's kind of a sizzle. So 2 o'clock Central Time, we'll go live. I'll just kind of interview Dr. Heather on the 10-day challenge. You are free to tag up anybody you want, and trust that if anybody were to personal message me on my integrity, I send them back to whoever I saw tag them. So the next thing we're going to do is next Wednesday at 7 o'clock Central Time on this same Zoom line, we're going to go back to a prospect call. because I think that getting people on this 10-day challenge and how easy that is, all of our language can be, now would you like to share your 10-day experience and grab 5 or 6 people? So whoever you're getting on the 10-day challenge right now, invite them on the prospect call next Wednesday night at 7. It'll be a Zoom. We'll do a brief coverage of the 10-day, but we'll talk about from there how they can choose their favorite flavor and get on a smart ship, or how they could also, and I'm going to be direct on it, pick up a side business with residual income, because sometimes I'm way more passionate about that than anything else. And so I think we need sometimes that third party to come in and say that for you while you're helping them on the 10-day experience. So build into that this week, inviting all your 10-day challengers to come on Wednesday at 7. We'll give some product value and then an invite to the business. I feel like we haven't done that in a long time, and I'm ready to do that. The other thing is, with every 10-day challenge, hold on just a second, ask their friends to join. Who do you know who would like to do this 10-day challenge with you? Maybe offer up some coupons. I'll give you 20 coupons off your first order of ketones after your 10-day challenge for every person you have take the 10-day challenge with you. People are just sneaking by the mutes today. So your language, don't forget, you're in a jungle swinging from branch to branch. Every person you land on, while they're excited, while they're ordering their 10-day challenge, it's your opportunity to kick into their network and see what friends and family would like to do that with them, because people like to do it together. So don't forget to ask for referrals, ask the question. Don't let one person be a dead end and then go off somewhere else. The other thing is, this funnel is amazing. It's awesome. And if you have not put yourself through it yet, please do that, because I had so many people asking me questions on the first day and I couldn't answer them because I didn't put myself through it. All right. So go to your own funnel and put yourself through it, because you'll be able to understand it better, and you'll stop asking questions you shouldn't be asking because you actually took 5 minutes to do it. Okay. So and here's the thing, each day set a goal. How many customers in your back office can you tell about the 10-day challenge and give them your challenge link? It is your refer code.challenge.com. So if it's, Shane.challenge.com. I don't know what your guys' referral links it, but that's it. And right now, I would be trying to get every single person into the funnel, because it captures their emails, and then corporate will send out those emails for you when something new drops. So even if it's an existing customer, I'd be working maybe 5 customers a day, get them to go in there and get their email in there so that they're on a sophisticated funneling system. Does that make sense? We want everybody. I want myself in there so I can receive the Prove It notifications. Let them do the heavy lifting for you, so you can all you have to do is get them there. Just get them in the funnel. Okay. They can order the 1, the 2, or the 3. And then if the other thing that you can do, if you find anything glitches up, here's just a troubleshooting hack that I've experienced. Try this before you think about emailing support. If anything glitches up, or you want to maybe add a keto up, yesterday I had to add a keto up to the 10-day and I couldn't do it from the front. Make sure their account is created so they could go in through your shop link, like abby.shopketo.com. They can go in through your shop link, put the keto up in there, create the customer account, and then add the 10-day to the cart. So if you come to a problem or a glitch, try that hack before you freak out. Create the account, go in the back way. That should work too. And then once again, I think that this replaces the 10-day that I've been trying to work for years. And I don't know about you, but I've lost a lot of people in the step from 10-day to purchase. Can you guys relate to that? Okay. I liked what he said, my 10 days, 10 packs for me was $85. That was what I was mailing. $85 for 10 packs. You have 20 sachets plus 10 Mitoplex on your first order for $99. That's insane. But now they're in your back office, your system, and your funnel. So to me, it's a no-brainer. You start here. And then like Brian said, let them wait. Don't be uncomfortable with silence. And then if they can't do that, then you can work into the mailing of a 5-day. Okay. And then the most biggest thing is, guys, if you're resurrecting, if you've been out of the cuff for a while, if you're looking at the holidays and you're needing some more money, like, why not? Why not go all in on this and do it by picking up the phone? That's just something that is just the last 3 days. I've been back on phone calls all day. And here's the thing. I think for 2 years, I thought that was exhausting. But what's exhausting is messaging tons of people and not getting responses or closing. And I've actually been really energized by having phone conversations with people. And then I've been walking them through their back office and the order. I did that the first year, every day of my life for about 8 hours a day. And the fire and the momentum and the energy I felt then was awesome. It was awesome. I felt like I was helping and getting somewhere. This, like I was saying on the call with Brian, this mentality that my phone is only going to be used for messaging and nobody gets to talk to me, like, it has killed my energy. It's killed my spirit. It's killed my sales. Okay. Like, why? Yesterday I brought in a new promoter. She said she can't post on social media. And I said, awesome. You may do better here than 90% of people because you're ready to pick up the phone and call somebody. I go call somebody, go talk to them, and then connect them to me. She put me on the phone with 3 people and we got past her GoPro in the first 24 hours. Do you know how long it's been since somebody tossed me the ball to get on the phone with someone that was about to make an order? That's how we started. That's what worked. So I just think it's a good time to get back to the basics. And I was listening to a sales training the other day, and the thing that they said that stuck with me is salespeople don't need to go for the big dogs right away. The most important thing, and don't say you're not a salesperson. Every single person in the world is a salesperson. The biggest salesperson I know is my 7-year-old daughter, who argues and sells me on everything she wants in life. Okay. Everybody needs to start with a win. That's what we need. So if you can get a box of keto cream sold that day, you have just stoked a little bit of momentum. Another thing I was talking about with someone last night was objections. A lot of people who are great at what they do don't believe that they'll actually get to a close without an objection. Because if someone's not objecting or giving you a reason why not, they're probably not engaged and they're probably not listening to you. And when someone can throw you an objection, that can light up your passion. Don't let it change your body language. Don't let it kill your spirit when you get objections. Take it as a positive that, oh, they're listening. Okay, it's time to go. Okay, so little wins. If you're just getting back in this, little wins are going to create you the momentum that you need. So start small. 3 customers a day, give them your funnel link. Try and close 1 10-day a day. And by week 2, maybe it's 3. Okay, just start somewhere and celebrate the little wins that are going to create a momentum and a pickup in your business. And then get on the phone with people. Make it personal. It's a 10-day challenge. We came in this business because somewhere along the line, it changed our life. It made us feel better, changed our health. And so don't you want to be a part of that relationship with someone that you're helping through that 10-day? And if you are, you've just built trust. And if you think like I do, you think every single person in the world should have a side business of residual income, and it's stupid not to. That's really what I think. And so I'm going to share that with anybody who's excited about the changes that this is making in their body. And if you're uncomfortable doing that, then invite people on the call next Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, where I'll do that for you. Okay. With that being said, if there's any comments, I'd like it just to go in the chats, because I want to keep this a really clean recording, and I'm going to read in there.
Can I jump in quick, Abigail?
Okay, go ahead, Nick. You're frozen. Heather, do you want to say
On
something?
my heart,
Okay. Yeah, you were frozen, Nick. Go ahead. You're frozen again. We'll come back to you. Heather, go ahead. Okay, you're good. Okay. Nick's really excited. That's what he wanted to say. So, okay, guys.
Yeah, I just had questions we can do after the recording. So we can hit on
Okay.
later what. So if we could just meet and troubleshoot some of these things we're having, like orders fulfillment, if we could answer those questions, people's phone number not working on those, if we could talk about that.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for getting on this call today. I want to respect your time. So once again, today at 2 o'clock, the name is Abby Epps now. That's my Facebook page. I'll make sure it's public, and you can go tag any prospects up to hear from Dr. Heather going over the 10-day. And once again, next Wednesday, 7 o'clock CST, anybody on this call is welcome to invite in for a prospect call. And then s'mores already released. So let's get that info out. I'm really excited about that. All right, y'all, have a great one.